We are on our way. There's my sister Lauren. I'm starting at the Dwellingup section, the beginning of the Dwellingup section hike, and we'll be finishing somewhere along, well, we'll be finishing Driver Road. Yeah, looking forward to trying out some new gear. That new Cedar Summit tent, which I won't shut the hell up about. Pretty pumped for. The ALTO TR2. There's a woggle. See you a bit later. Just wanted to stop and show you all the dense bankers behind us, which have germinated since the fires from a few years ago. You can see that it's quite thick out there and it's quite dry still. We're in middle of April, getting towards the end of April actually. So it's really dry out here. And that's actually, there's great content out there being made by the guys up in the US and all that jazz, but in Australia, and in particular Perth or Western Australia, there's a large sections that you can hike through that you just won't have water. And that's been my biggest problem, I guess, is that they focus a lot on the cold, that you can stop and fill up at streams and whatnot, whereas in Perth or in WA, we don't have that luxury. So that's something that you need to consider if you're watching multiple channels, that it is hotter here and you do need a lot of water. You know, they often talk about not carrying more than, say, 2 litres of water, whereas, as I said, I take 3 to 4 litres if I'm doing 20 Ks, because you just don't know if the tank's going to be full or if you're going to find any water sources along the way. So yeah, just thought I'd stop and just show you that dense, thick scrub. Holy shit, look at that. Is it a kid now?
Hey, Spike.
How cool. Here we are in a pretty incredible pine tree forest, surrounded by blackberries and pine trees.
Nature's snacks.
Changing topography and, what do you call these? Trees. We went through a she oak forest not long ago. Mainly just been a lot of bottle brush, bankshire. But yeah, cool to come into a pine tree forest. Wow.
Give us a cooey.
A little bit dark here. We are about to make way to our hut, which I'm very excited about. I don't know if you can see it. There it is. Pretty happy. Alright, so when we get there, I'm gonna set up my tent, start cooking, and what else are you gonna do, Tim? I don't know. Shut up. Hey?
Leave that one for Reese, it's a bit smaller.
in my happy place. Let's cook some of this. Oh, I am quite washed out there. I'm in the sun. There I am. Hello. Hello. How's the acoustics out here? We've just stopped for a little break. There's Tom. There's Reese. Lauren's off going to the toilet. We just climbed 140 meters according to Reese's altimeter. 19 Ks today. We've knocked out 5 in the first hour, which is great. So that means we only have 14 left to go. We'll just stop for a little snacky poo. There's my pack. Hey pack. There you are. And check out this forest. How's that? Not bad. How's this landscape? So this has been a huge drop followed by a massive incline.
Are you having a double meal?
Yeah. Here we are at the Murray campsite, greeted by a nice little fireplace. There is of course the hut. Really cool feature about this hut, and I tell you, it's one of the hardest hikes I've done. Look at that, straight on the water. I was very tempted to go down there for a swim. Something I learnt pretty quickly is put down the ground sheet first, peg out all the pegs, then put down your inner, then put down your fly. This is a fly first tent, but I don't need to, and it's a lot easier. Now obviously you could leave it like this, but I'm not. I'm going to put the fly on. Oh. For your fly, there are colour-coded sides, and the poles are also colour-coded. So green is on the right and grey is on the left. So let's just do a walk around the tent, shall we? So, as I said, it's got straight up and down walls, and that's thanks to this section here where you've got inverted poles, DAC poles, high quality. We move around to the side of the tent and you'll see how big it is. It's absolutely massive. Some really cool features that they've included in here. So your stuff sacks for your tent turn into pockets. another one over here. And there you go, there's your stuff sack. And that sticks up the top, and I'll show you that a little later on tonight. And it turns into a friggin' light bar, so it uses, it's all baffled, mottled, whatever. It creates light dispersion from just a small headlamp on that's lower setting, and it reflects off that white panel on the back of it, and it works really, really well. Huge space in here. You can get, for the bottom here, you can get a storage compartment with tie points at the top, and there's loops all along the roof if you wanted to line it with something as well. Yeah, pretty sweet. So we come around the back, you've got two vents, and you can actually close this if it's too cold at night, just under here, inside there. Come on, focus. That can actually be zipped up. So ventilation is key with this tent. Two massive vestibules on either side for when you and your mate, you don't need to crawl over the other one when they go into the toilet. Like, that's massive. That'll fit heaps of gear, your pack, your boots, anything else you've got, heaps. Come down to the pegs. Boring, I know. But like I said, they all come off to one peg. So down here, that pegs your tent, your fly, and your ground sheet, all off the one peg. So super convenient for pitching. And then down here, this is how you connect your fly. It's just like a little twist lock onto that. Again, really cool feature, and you've just got super easy cinching down using these cords here, or just loosening off there. Like, it's designed to be used, which is great. And that features on every corner. Cedar Summit, 1.34 grams is what I weighed this in at. That's fully loaded, no modifications, and then that ground sheet is 300 and I think 30 grams. So all in, looking at around about 1.7 kilos. If you want to have the large ground sheet, you can get the smaller one, which I think is 200 grams. I think it's definitely worth it. You definitely need a ground sheet in any case, I think. But effectively you just lose those wings, which save you a little bit of weight if you don't mind having your pack on dirt, or you don't mind getting into your tent into dirt. Sweet. G'day. Fancy seeing you here. Today I've got, yep, you guessed it, more Cedar Summit gear. Alright, so we've got the Cedar Summit Etherlight Insulated XT. This is a large, and you'll see that two large pads in here would be a bit of a stretch. But I love this. It's insulated to 3.5. It's just a great pad. Packs down to not a lot. I think it's about 640 grams. And like you would have seen, if you've seen these ever, it includes its own stuff sack. It includes its own pump sack, I should say. Super easy to fold up and let the air out, and super easy to do up. So two-way valve, you've got a one-way valve to go to inflate it, and then you've got a total deflate valve here, which lets everything out completely. And if you fold it in half this way and then fold it up like that and leave the valve out here, that's how you can completely get rid of all the air. Super, super easy. I've got their pillow lock system, which basically just locks in your pillow. I've got a Cedar Summit pillow, which has little furry bits on the bottom of it. I'll show you that in a sec. Make sure I have the right valve in. So just about here. They do say not to use your breath to blow up match. So this uses a tricky aerodynamics feature, which is when you blow air into something, it's actually vortexing more in from the outside. So as you blow into here from a short distance, it's sucking more in and it bellows this out. And what that means is it means you don't have to use your breath to inflate it as well. Popped off, but because it's got the valve, didn't deflate. Just going to get a little bit more firm and then we're good to go. Alright, that's pretty good. You can always inflate it a little bit more later. Generally go harder because there is a little push-in valve here which you can actually just release. I don't know if you can hear that. Which can make it a bit softer. Oh yeah, that's good. What I like to use these side pockets for is actually just organisation of all your stuff sacks. Stuff you don't need to get to straight away. You do have two big side pockets here and on the other side, so that's where you might want to put like some quick store stuff. But I like to put all my stuff sacks into those. Alright, another Cedar Summit product, shock horror. It's the Areos pillow, the premium. So you've got soft sides either side, and this is a little bit padded. Not a lot padded, but it's a little bit. So I like to leave it not super inflated. Just so it's nice and soft on your head. And like I said, this pillow lock system, look at that. So your pillow won't move around on you at night. Again, Cedar Summit. You may have seen this earlier, TK1. It was about 8 degrees last night and it was a little bit cold. I wasn't wearing any thermals, so that's on me. But I do have the Reactor Thermalite Extreme. So Thermalite's a type of fabric which is like a hollow fabric and it traps in all the air. They liken it to a polar bear. Cute. And this I put in halfway through the night last night and I was super warm. It was great. This, they say, adds I think about 11 degrees Celsius. It worked for me. Not 11 degrees, but it worked for me. Take out your sleeping bag nice and early before you do anything so that you can leave it to loft up. And what lofting is allowing the feathers, or if you don't have it, a feather one, even a nylon one, they loft up so they fluff up and that's what traps all the heat in. This is actually loaded with great features, this particular sleeping bag. It's one of their cheapest range. It's got a footbox venting down here. Ugh, yep, there, if your feet get hot. You've got a zipper at the bottom and a zipper at the top. And then you've got this hard bit of fabric here, and that's to prevent catching on the internal side of your sleeping bag. Neat idea. Up the top, all your classic stuff. You've got a hood, you've got a drawstring. You actually have an internal pocket here, which is a good place to store, if it's particularly cold, your phone or a battery bank, because the colder batteries are, the more quickly they lose their charge. Neat. It's probably going to be fairly cold tonight, so I'm going to use this. And then you have it. I'm a bit of a Cedar Summit fanboy. I do like to support, number one, good quality gear, which all this stuff is. It's really, really high quality. It's world-renowned business, and it started in Perth, which is really neat. I like to support local businesses. I'm not saying you have to. I'm just saying when I can buy cool local stuff that's good quality, I'm going to get it. Again, this has a drawstring to cinch it in a hood around you. Neat. There you go, that's my full sleeping setup. I will show you what it's like on the inside later tonight. How's this for a campsite? That's the hut over there. Well, it's morning on the Murray campsite leg of our hike. Behind me is my fly. It is drying out because it was moist last night. Moist and misty. Between Swamp Oak and Murray was a huge hike. It was about 19.5 Ks. And my God, you go straight down the valley and straight up a hill. It's a very hilly, challenging hike. If you've never hiked before, you're in for a real treat. I wouldn't recommend it if you don't feel safe walking down very steep or very steep uphill and steep downhill. It's a huge toll on the body, but there's benches along the way so you can take pit stops. I didn't get to film anymore last night because I was absolutely shattered like all of us were. I had 4 litres of water. My Camelback ran out as we got to camp, and I used about 750 mils of my water to cook with. So definitely load up on water for that part. It was about 30 degrees yesterday, so it was crazy hot as well, which just made it all the worse. But on that section, take lots of water. I would recommend 4 litres of water, especially if you're cooking. Today we're heading to Drivers Road, which is a drop-off point. I've got my car parked there. I'm still deciding whether or not I keep going to, Ducanelli, there we go, Ducanelli. So Ducanelli is only about 3.5 k's on the way past Drivers Road. At Drivers Road, it's part of Lane Pool Reserve, and there's actually a nice little stream there. So depending on how hot it is, I might get in for a quick little dip. At Murray Campsite, which you would have seen, there is a lake or a stream directly out the front, which is just stunning. In the morning, that mist coming off the river was pretty special to wake up to. By far, one of the best huts as far as scenery and setup goes. It's beautiful. Still an older style hut, not that that matters. Campsites are plenty up the back. It's just wicked.
Put in the water pump. Ready? I kind of just chose this shit spot.
We have just Made it to Driver's Road, which is our pickup spot, or rather where I left my car. And the water is flowing and I reckon we're going to go for a swim. Sounds good to me. Oh! Ouch! Oh God! Oh! Not cold! Definitely not cold! Good. I agree with you because the word is probably freezing. Oh!
It could be worse. It could be another 3 months.
Woo!
Sorry, it's good.
As Matt said, the Wim Hof method.
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10, temperature wise, about 1. Refreshment, 10.
10.
Average, 5.
As an overall experience.
Oh, this is like magic on my fucking feet. Oh.
How are we getting out?
Tim gracefully navigating the river. How's that?
Cold. It's good. Woo!